bricks and they're building pyramids and it's so tough. Oy. Can everybody take a big rock and put it on your shoulder? I'm looking, let me see, is Carly Lerone? Who's putting a big rock on their shoulder? Good job. Oh, this is hard work. Everybody say, Hashem, please save me. Hashem, please save me.
Hashem, please save me. Hashem,
there we go. There we go. And then Hashem is listening to all the cries of the Jewish people. And he says, Oy, my Jewish people, my children are suffering. And one day, I was walking in Midian, and
Hey, Rabbi, sorry, I muted you by mistake.
His brother Yocheved put him in a basket. He put him in the Nile River to save him from Pharaoh's decree. Pharaoh's daughter found him, and he grew up in the royal palace.
my fellow Jews, my name is Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe.
I'm Moshe Rabbeinu.
And I watch a lot of sheep every day. I take them to the field and I let them eat. And one day, one of my sheep ran away. So I chased the sheep, chased it and chased it and chased it. And I finally caught up to my sheep. It had gone all the way to the river. I wanted to have a drink. So I picked up my sheep and I said, Sheepy, if I would have known that you're thirsty, I would have carried you. You wouldn't have to run all the way to the water. I would have carried you there. And I put the sheep down, and all of a sudden, I saw something really strange. There was a bush, and the bush was burning. There was a fire. I came closer, and all of a sudden, I hear a voice.
Okay. So what voice do you hear?
Who's talking to me?
I am Hashem, your God, and the God of you. I have a special mission for you, Moshe.
For you,
Wow.
anything.
I have seen the way you care for your flock, and now you will take care of mine.
Okay.
Go tell Pharaoh that Hashem says to let my people go so that they can serve me.
But Paro is so mean. What if he doesn't listen to me?
If he does not listen to you, I will destroy the land of Egypt. Now go.
Okay. Well, my fellow Jews, I'm going to go tell Paro to let my people go, but I'm going to need your help. Okay, guys, are you going to be able to help me? Give me oh, thank you for the thumbs up. Excellent. Give me a thumbs up if you're going to help me. Awesome. Okay, here's how it's going to work. We're going to tell Paro together, let my people go. I want to see your lips moving. I don't need to hear you. Don't unmute yourself, but I want to see your lips moving. When I pick my thumbs up, like that's your cue to say, let my people go. Let's try. 1, 2, 3.
Let my people go.
Very good. Okay. Well, let's tell Paro to let my people go. For you, Paro, a special message for you, Paro, from Hashem. Ready, boys and girls? 1, 2, 3. Let my people go. Paro's not listening to us. Well, Paro, if you're not going to listen to us, then Hashem is going to bring 10 makos, 10 plagues on all the people in Mitzrayim. 10 makos, 10. The Mitzrayim were punished again and again. Dam tzipardei akini marov dever shechin. Paradar Bechoshech Makat Bechorot. Okay, let's see. Plague number 1. Moshe is going to pick up his stick, and all the water in Mitzrayim is going to turn to blood. 1, 2, 3. Paro, all the water in Mitzrayim is now turned to blood. Paro? Ooh. Should I show you, boys and girls, what Paro's royal goblet looks like? Let's take a look. Let's take Paro's royal goblet right over here, and let's pour him some fresh, clean water. Okay, let's take a look. Whoa! Whoa! Paro's water turned red. My water is still clear. There we go. You think Paro's going to listen to us now? What do you think? Give me a nod or a shake. Is Paro going to let the Jewish people go? Oh, I think you're right. I think Paro doesn't get the message, even after all of his water turned to blood. Well, who knows what the second That's right. All of Egypt was covered in That's right. And after itchy, scratchy lice came, big wild animals came. And then there was a plague, and all the animals started to die. And then came these big pieces of ice came falling down from the sky, burrowed. And the ice had fire coming out of it. And then came these little grasshoppers, and they ate up all the flowers and all the cucumbers and all the trees, all the wheat. And then came darkness. It was so dark that the Egyptians couldn't even move. And then came Makat Bechorot. And Paro said, okay, go, just get out of here. And the Jewish people were so happy. They didn't want to wait around for Paro to change his mind. So they put some flour and water in a bag. They put it on their shoulders, and they ran out of Mitzrayim. And when they came out of Mitzrayim, you think they waited for all of their water, all of their dough to turn into bread? No, they didn't have any time for sandwiches. They just made into matzah with a miracle from Hashem, from the hot sun in the desert. Now, boys and girls, we're going to try to make our own matzah. Are you ready? Awesome. Okay. Ingredient number 1. Even before we start with the actual ingredients, I want to see who has an apron. If you have an apron, I want you to put on an apron. Okay? Beautiful. I see Leron's grabbing an apron and putting it on. That's great. And I see that the Wagshalls are all wearing big aprons. And, oh, even I've got my apron. That's right. My model Matzah Bakery apron. Okay. Let me get all of my supplies and bring them over here so that everybody can see them. And we are ready to rumble. Okay. Beautiful. Got my table right here. Everybody could see. And we're ready to make some matzah. Okay. Can I see a raise of hands of who's going to be making matzah today so that I know? Oh, good. Okay, great. I'm going to be watching you guys. All right. The first thing that we need for making matzah is, of course, we want to make sure that we're going to keep ourselves clean. So we have an apron on. And if you have gloves, a lot of people have gloves these days. So if you have gloves, you can put them on, and that'll make sure that your hands stay nice and clean. But if you don't have gloves, that's fine. You can just use your hands. That's what I do when I don't have gloves. Good job. Look at everybody putting on gloves. Great job. Okay. Now, when it comes to making matzah, there's just two ingredients, water and flour. And we have to be very careful with the flour that's used for making matzah, because we're not allowed to just use the regular matzah flour that we could find in the stores, because that matzah flour or bread flour or any flour, it's already chametz. And we don't want to use chametz to make matzah for Pesach, right? Well, today we're not going to make matzah for Pesach. We're just going to make matzah for learning how to make matzah. So it's okay if we use any flour. But I still want to show you how the special matzah is made, special flour is made for making matzah. So I'm going to put this stuff on the side, and I'm going to show you some wheat. These wheat stalks, they grew in a farm somewhere in the middle of America. And what happens is when they grow, they're all green. And then when they cut them, they leave them to dry, and then they become this color. Can you see what color they are? They're not green anymore. They're kind of like yellow or tan. And this is when they're ready to turn into flour. So if you see on top of the wheat stalks, there are these little pokey whiskers. And these pokey whiskers, they protect the wheat kernels, which are inside, from being eaten by birds and different other animals, because they're kind of pokey. They give you a splinter. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out all of these pokey things so that we don't get any splinters, okay? Let's pull them out, just like this. Pull out, pull out, pull out, pull out, pull out, pull out, and just three more. 1, 2, and the last ones. Beautiful. 3. Now look, all of the pokey sticks are pulled out, and now we just have a piece of wheat. We're just going to break off the tip so that we're left with only the wheat kernels. And on the table in front of me, I'm just going to kind of massage gently, and the kernels are just going to fall out nicely onto the table. And the kernels have a little bit of like a skin that's also a protection for them. And it's very, very, very thin and very, very, very light. So if I just give a little blow, you see that? Only the kernels are left in the middle. So I'm just going to collect the kernels, and then we're going to take the kernels and we're going to put them into my flour mill. And you're probably thinking, where do you have a flour mill? Well, I'm going to show you. Right over here. Oi! Oi! This flour mill is from the Matzah factory. And now I have it here in my house so that we could make flour. Now, if you watch very carefully, look at this line over here, you'll be able to see the flour being crushed and made right here in my dining room. Okay, let's give it a good, put a couple of kernels in there. And I'm looking for a volunteer. Who wants to help me? Does Unicorn World want to help me? Okay, what's Unicorn World's name?
Elisheva.
Elisheva. Okay, does Unicorn World's brother have a name too?
Yeah. Jerry.
Oh, that's such a nice name. Okay, guys.
Jerry. His name is Jerry.
Oh, Jerry. What a beautiful
Jerry
name.
Shalom.
Jerry Shalom, Jerry Shalom. Okay. Now, Jerry and Elisheva, I want you to hold tight, okay? Hold on to this handle tight. And I want you to start to turn, okay?
Turn it.
And as you're turning,
Be strong.
I want you guys to look over here, see if you could see some of the flour coming out that we're making. Oh, Elisheva, you're doing a great job. A little faster, okay? Good. Oh, beautiful. Oh, excellent. Oh, great. Oh, Oh, could you hear the flour mill going? Oh, Jerry, your turn. Give it a good turn. All right, okay. Now, let's take a look. Let's see some of the flour that we made. Let's give it another couple of turns. All right. Let's gather the flour together. And could you see the flour on the table? Let's take a look. Let's see. We made quite a bit of flour here. Could you see the flour on the table?
Yeah.
Right there?
Uh-huh.
Great job. Okay. Now that we have some freshly ground flour, now we're ready to put some ingredients together. Are you guys ready? Does everybody have a mixing bowl? A mixing bowl.
Yeah.
If you have a mixing bowl, put your mixing bowl right here in the middle of your table, middle of your surface.
Where's our mixing bowl? This one?
This one's,
What's this one for?
I'm not sure.
You need a mixer. No, we don't. It's gonna be our hands.
Okay. Mixing bowl. Beautiful. Now, if you have a measuring cup, then I'd like you to measure out 1 cup of flour. Okay, we'll start with 1 cup of flour and just dump that nicely into your mixing bowl, okay? Beautiful. Great. Beautiful. Good job. So 1 cup of flour in your mixing bowl. Now, when it comes to making matzah, especially if the matzah is going to be kosher for Passover, it's very important that we don't let the dough rise. Now, how do we make the dough not rise? That's a great question. One way of making dough not rise is by not putting yeast into the dough. Then it's not going to rise. But here's a little secret. If you put flour and water together, it could rise even if there's no yeast. I didn't know that. But here's the deal. If you leave it together for 18 minutes, it's going to start to rise. So I have a timer here, and I put it for 18 minutes, and we're going to see if we can hustle, and get this matzah baked in less than 18 minutes. Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up. Awesome. Great. Okay. So we got our 18-minute timer started. We've got some water. Okay, give a little splash of water. Don't put your whole cup of water in. Just put about 1/3 of a cup of water in. And with your mixing spoon or your finger, you could start to mix. And we're mixing and mixing. And mixing and mixing and mixing. Just keep mixing. That's right, keep mixing. Good job. All right. Keep mixing. And if your matzah's dough is looking really sticky, just add a little bit more flour. If it's looking really crumbly, like it's not going to stick together, then just add a little bit more water. Okay, so if it's very sticky, then you want to add some more flour. If it's very crumbly and it's not sticking together nicely, add just a little bit more water. And if it's perfect, then it's perfect. Mine's just a drop sticky. So I'm going to try to rub it around the sides of the bowl where there's still a little bit more flour. And if it's still a little bit sticky, I'm going to add a little bit more flour to it. How about yours? How is yours? Are you sticky? Are you crumbly? Are you perfect? You're not sure. You need a little bit more flour. Okay, no problem.
I still got a little more water.
A little more water, a little more flour. To the bottom bottom of this one way or another.
So,
We just need a little
Next, it's sticky. You need to add more flour. I don't have more flour,
and
guys.
we just need a little bit.
Come on. No. This is it. Just mix it together. Mommy, put it. Have more flour. All the flour. And more because it has put it in,
Right.
and then knead it.
Okay, I'm looking for a bowl,
There's some more in there.
a ball of dough about the size of a golf ball. About the size of a golf ball. Maybe a ping pong ball. That's how big our ball should be, okay? Very sticky, just a little bit more flour. Okay, once we have a ball of dough that's not too sticky and not too crumbly, we're gonna find a nice, smooth, clean surface to work on. So you could use a countertop, a tabletop, even just a little piece of parchment paper, which is what I'm gonna use. A nice piece of parchment paper, nice and smooth. Does everybody have a nice clean surface? How are the Goldmans doing? Awesome. Nice clean surface. Beautiful. And let's take a little bit of flour and just a gentle sprinkle, very, very light, powder coated. We want to completely cover the surface that we're going to work with flour, just a very, very, very thin covering. Great. Awesome. Now let's take our little matzah ball and let's put it right in the middle. And with our palm, let's push down gently on our matzah ball. Just push down gently with our palm on the matzah ball to make it nice and flat. Then we're going to turn it over and do the same thing on the other side. Just push it down nice and flat. Great job, everybody. Okay. Elisheva, how's it going? Give me a thumbs up. You're getting nice and sticky? Too much water? Don't worry, I've got a trick for you. You want to hear my trick? Just grab together a bunch of your dough. Show me what it looks like. There we go. Give it a good knead, okay? Let's knead it and knead it and knead it. Good job. I like the way it's looking. Very good. Now, do you have a little surface to work on, like a little tabletop or a counter where we're not going to make too much mess? Try to flatten it down, okay? Try to flatten it. Good job. I see some of you already have a rolling pin. That's amazing. Great job. All right. Liron, is that your name, Liron?
Lenny. I'm Liron. She's Lenny.
Lenny. Okay, Lenny. Lenny, I see you've got your rolling pin out. Good job. Everybody take your rolling pin and gently put it into the center of the matzah and sing along with me. Let's roll, roll, roll the matzah, roll, roll, roll the matzah, roll, roll, roll the matzah till it's nice and thin. Roll, roll, roll the matzah, roll, roll, roll the matzah, roll, roll, roll the matzah till it's nice and thin. Roll, roll, roll the roll the matzah until it's nice and thin. Okay. Now gently pick up the matzah and turn it over. And let's roll, roll, roll the matzah, roll, roll, roll the matzah, roll, roll, roll the matzah until it's nice and thin. Let's turn the matzah over. And let's roll the matzah, roll the matzah, roll the matzah till it's nice and thin. Roll the matzah, roll the matzah, roll the matzah till it's nice and thin. Okay, my matzah is looking nice and thin. How's your matzah looking?
Can I help you, Jerry? Let me help you.
Very good, Jerry.
Or just one.
I like the way the Johnson family are very
Your house in Washington, D.C.
Very creative. I like that.
No, I don't want to do it. I don't want this. Joshua.
Okay.
No, not yet.
It seems you need
We
something.
got a holy roller. This is going to make.
Stop. No.
These are going to make holes in the matzah. Okay. Now, why do we have to
Your
make holes?
house in Washington.
Right, I'm cuckoo.
We're going to make holes in the matzah because we don't want the matzah to rise. And we want our matzah to be nice and holy. Okay. If you don't have a holy roller, you can just use a fork and just poke some holes in the matzah. Poke holes in the matzah. Poke holes in the matzah. Poke, 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 poke. Poke holes in the matzah. Poke holes in the matzah. And turn your matzah over and poke some more. Poke holes in the matzah. Poke holes in the matzah. Poke holes in the matzah and poke, poke, poke some more. Okay. My matzah is ready to go in the oven. How about your matzah? I think so. Awesome. Okay. Matzah, matzah, matzah man. Matzah man. Okay, I've got my matzah. My matzah's gonna go into the oven. Right, into the oven. Okay, boys and girls, we've got a few minutes while the matzah bakes in the oven. If you have your oven on a timer preheated for 450, you could put it in the oven for 5 minutes. Okay, you could put the timer on. And in the meantime, we're going to sing some of our favorite songs for Pesach. That's right. Some of our favorite songs for Pesach. And let me just, I gotta share. Here, let's share the screen and share computer sound. Share that screen. And 1, 2, 3, go.
שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים יושבים ובין מסובים בין מסובים הלילה הזה הזה כולנו מסובים. הלילה הזה כולנו מסובים. עבדים היינו לפרעה במצרים. עבדים היינו, אתה בני חורים. עבדים היינו, אתה בני חורים. אילו הוציאנו ממצרים ולא עשה בהם שפטים. דיינו והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו. והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו. שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו. שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו. אלא שבכל דור ודור עומדים עלינו לכלותנו. אלא שבכל דור ודור עומדים עלינו לכלותנו. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו בידיו. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו בידיו. והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו בידיו. שלושה עשר מי יודע. 13 מידיה, 12 שבטיה, 11 כוכביה, 10 דבריה, 9 ירחי לידה, 8 ימי מילה, 7 ימי שבתא, 6 סדרי משנה, 5 חומשי תורה, 4 אמהות, 3 אבות, 2 לוחות הברית, 1 אלוקינו. אלוקינו שבשמיים ובארץ.
לילה טוב אבא.
All right. Okay. Let's see. How are our matzahs doing? Your matzah's ready already?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Your matzah?
I think I'm gonna.
Not yet. Okay. Okay.
They're hot.
I'm gonna give it a few minutes. I'm gonna check on my matzah right now. I'm gonna pop open the oven over here. And let's take a look. What do you think, Ice?
Great idea to make matzah with no water.
How's your matzah, guys? What do you think about that, huh? Smells great. It's a little bit hot. Elisheva, is your matzah ready?
Yes.
Can I see it?
Bring it. 1 second.
Jerry, how about your matzah?
It's like a little pita.
Oh, beautiful.
Pita.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh.
I think it's a raw pita.
Don't forget to make a bracha. Rabbi, what bracha should we make on the matzahs?
Hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
That's right. Although the Sfardim would probably say mizonot still.
You know what? That's right. Yeah.
We are not starting.
No, I think
So-
it's a bit raw.
Wow.
Oh, beautiful.
Is it okay to eat it like that, or should we bake it more?
Let me see. I gotta blow this up a little.
You done? You want to put it on here on bake?
Ooh, that looks. You can put it back in the oven. A little more crispy. A little more crispy.
For how long?
Maybe another minute or two.
Okay.
Mine's ready.
Yeah, it's ready. But if you want like crispy, like mine.
Wow, Eliora and
Nice.
wow, look at you guys.
Do some clock.
Nathaniel, good job. Which one's yours?
So these ones aren't cooked. They made more.
Nice,
Turn it off.
I'll show you. Hang on.
nice. Lenny, did you make one yet?
No, our oven is not ready. It was not heat.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
we are just put it in now.
So nice. So much fun.
Do you want to eat
I'll
it?
try. Okay, I'll try.
Let's see. Who's this?
You're not saying bracha.
Okay, let's make a bracha. Whoever is eating it now, let's go wash our hands. Eliora, go in your sink and wash your hands. And we're gonna make a. You did, so let's make a bracha together. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz. Okay. Yasher Koach.
Beautiful.
Who's chewing?
Everybody have a happy Pesach. I know you guys are all helping your mommy so much for cleaning and getting ready for Pesach. You're doing such a big mitzvah by staying in your house. But very soon we're going to be back at school, right, Rabbi?
Bezrat Hashem, we hope so.
Okay, good. Mashiach is coming. Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach.
Ay, 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 ay. Mashiach, Mashiach, Mashiach. Ay, 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 ay. Shkoyach, Rabbi Aaron.
Okay, everybody, Chag Sameach.
Chag Sameach.